kind of like a little thing I've been learning to do. But let's just put the name here. Let's go over here. This number 5 is going to be Mojo J. He is up here, so 79,300. So Mojo, just passion, just really brings the realism, right? Kind of like he's strong enough and vulnerable enough to wear his heart on his sleeves, cries on the camera. I know some people are like, oh, that's a sign of weakness. I think that's a sign of his strength. I think that he is able to show like really people like, you know, the ups and the downs. And I know he's opening up a shop really soon, and I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of great content out of that. Little caveat, I don't think I've met every single person on this list. I've at least communicated with them, you know, on Instagram DMs or online. But Mojo, I've had the pleasure of like just getting a couple of meals with after shows, and I got to see him at Fanatics Fest recently, and he was just crushing it. I mean, he's always delivering. He's always got great videos, and I know that there are people here on this list who may not like him too much and all that, but for me as a content consumer, because this is my list as a content consumer, I really enjoy his videos, and I really enjoy that he is just so open and vulnerable and shows how much fun he has. So, you know, shout out to number 5, Mojo, and we are already in the top 5 of this. We're at the halfway point. I think we're at the halfway point. Number 4, again, kind of like geared towards the hobby positive, and then you got the people who have been maligning him and all that. But again, I don't want to get into the middle of it. You know, do I always agree with what Jeff Wilson, Sports Card Investor, does? No, I don't. But I also like his content. It's when it comes to the kind of like the chasing cardboard, the you know, this is the Jeff Wilson, right? So I'll just put GW. But he's got a great team around him, great quality production. I've got to see kind of the behind the scenes as he's recording, and his cameraman is recording him, like what it looks like, and he does a really great job. Great camera presence, of course. Can be controversial, but you know, in this day and age, in the attention economy, like, you know, he is, I think out of this list, he is the apex, right? He's like the apex predator out of the entire list. 389. I don't know why I said apex predator, but you get what I mean. He's at the top of the ecosystem, at least when it comes to sports card hobby YouTubers. So I don't think I'm going to edit any of this, but we'll see. SCI, Sports Card Investor, Jeff Wilson. And yes, I will say a little caveat, and this is not a plug for this, but I do want to be upfront to say I do have an affiliate code with Market Movers, which is associated with a Sports Card Investor. So I'm not, that's not the reason for making this. So I'm not going to even say my code and put it in the description. I just wanted to be upfront to let you know that that is, you know, that's, I'm not putting him on this list because I have the affiliate code, but I happen to have an affiliate code because I like their stuff and I do like what they're doing, and we've had talks, and you know, I am an affiliate, so I just wanted to say that. Number 3, you might be like, D, what is D? So I thought it'd be too simple if I put Sports Card Dad, like Dustin, like, so I just put D for Dustin, but this is Sports Card Dad. So Sports Card Dad, 23,100 abouts, and one-man show. What can I say, right? He does what I'm doing right now. He just presses record on his phone, and he just talks, and he does some editing, and he does splice in some funny sounds or clips, and he does like the overlay of the snapshot. But for the most part, we're talking about someone who is just like, he delivers daily. I don't know if it's on the weekends, but Monday through Friday in the morning, you can be rest assured before noon or whatever time it is where he's doing this, that he is going to pump out a video and he is going to deliver. And he has his distractors, he has his detractors, you know, saying, oh, he does too many ads and all that. But I mean, what a luxury, or what a place to be at, where you have so many hobby companies who want to work with you because they highly regard you. So that's the way I see it. Do I skip past the ads? I do. I just kind of, you know, skip, jump ahead, and then I listen to what he has to say. But I gotta give props to Dustin for, you know, I think he had a previous background in finance or something like that, like Finance Dad, and he is definitely, you know, one of these stalwarts in YouTube, just crushing it and just continuing to deliver. And I think most of these people are front facing. I think maybe who's not front facing. I think everyone here is front facing until we get to the top. Yes, and that's a little teaser for number 1. But number 2, I have here T, and T is for, again, if I don't even know what type of acronym to put for him, but Troy/Trike or Troy Reich, I don't know, I think that's what it is. 61,100. Troy, definitely more recently, I've gotten to know his content, but I can't stop watching it. It's incredibly well edited, incredibly well. It's very informative, and it's entertaining. He is. I wonder who's taller, Trike or Chris Sewell. I don't know. I just had that random thought. Really good dude. I've actually never met him in person, but I root him on. I try to comment on his videos to encourage him. He is like Justin, kind of like the younger Asian brother, but he is crushing it. If you don't know Trike, I feel like you should, all of you watching this, what I'm doing right now, you definitely, like, there's no way you don't at least know about them. Maybe you don't subscribe to them and watch all their content, but these are like stalwarts in the hobby YouTube space, and I'm just like this person who's like slowly trying to like make a little bit of room or noise in this long form content. But these people have been doing it for years, and they're just crushing it. And again, I continue to learn from their videos like every time I watch them, and that's why I appreciate them. So Trike at 61,000, you continue to crush it. And I am like so happy for you, and just many blessings with everything that you do, like honestly. Number 1, if you haven't seen it here, you will see it now. I mean, again, what else do I put other than like the acronym? There's no, actually maybe that is the acronym, Northeast Ohio, right? I didn't even know, like, this dude, I met him at the National 2 years ago, sitting next to Gemrate. No clue who he was. I was like, are you, I remember talking to Neo, the person who was sitting next to him, Gemrate, Ryan, and I was like, someone told me you're card porn. Are you card porn? And he's like, no, I'm not. And then that ended up being just striking a conversation. We were at this like Beckett exclusive party that I crashed, and Neo and Ryan were at the bar, and Neo was like, yeah, I do some YouTube stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, that's so cool. That's so nice. Like, what is your YouTube? And he's like, it's Neo Cards and Comics. I'm like, what happened to me at that time was what people do to me, where they have no clue who I am. They're like, oh yeah, you have Instagram? What's your Instagram? And I'll say Denny Cards. And I'm like, oh, okay, sure, buddy. Yeah, I'll give you a follow. And then they'll be like, oh, okay. And then like, it's so silly and stupid, but I definitely had that moment with Neo where I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were like one of the most prominent voices in the hobby, where you deliver news and you're consistent. You're like, the trains run on time with your content recording and publishing schedule. I'm surprised he doesn't have more. He's almost at 19,000. He's at 18,900, but he is someone who I consistently watch, consistently learn from. I don't feel like from a news standpoint, like I feel already like plugged into the hobby, but if you're not plugged into the hobby, it's a great way to kind of like get caught up to speed with the news, because he does like the weekly news thing on Sunday mornings, or it releases it Sunday mornings. I think he maybe publishes it or records it like Saturday nights. He has the weekly thing with Dustin, and his presence on YouTube is incredible. Instagram, not so much, but it's kind of like me, right? Instagram, really good, and then like YouTube, like, no one watches, or no one is there, but it's okay. Like, you're here, right? Literally. But Neo, Northeast Comics, Northeast Ohio Cards and Comics. He has a whole TCG channel too, which I've definitely thought about doing, but I'm like, why am I gonna start another TCG channel where I don't even have like barely 1,000 in my sports card, and I don't have like an affinity, like I don't have a passion for Pokemon and TCG. I dabble, I like it, my kids like it, so I want to like learn more, but there's no way. But this person, he knows how to, he moves the needle. Like, he definitely helps the hobby public form their opinion by giving very measured and factual and reasonable takes, not sensational, definitely funny. I mean, again, I would not vibe with any of these people if they didn't have a decent underlying base level of sense of humor, and that's what they all have. And Neo, I will say, I don't think I've actually had a meal with him. I hope that changes soon. But I met him at Fanatics Fest. I've met him at the Beckett, the National Party 2 years ago. But yeah, he's a really good dude, and so I'm supportive, and I hope you, if you aren't, which you probably are, but show all of these people some support. I mean, show them some love, and maybe as you watch me talking about this, like maybe I've inspired you to give them a watch or a listen, or maybe like I don't know, like I've done with my Instagram and other things, like maybe you are gonna want to try to watch a lot of hobby YouTube content and start your own channel. And if you do, put it down in the comments. I would love to support. We all rising tide lifts all boats, right? So we can all support each other. And so I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this entire list and me talking through it. This is when you can end it if you don't want to hear me talk about these non-hobby YouTube content creators. But I imagine if you've gotten this far, you probably will watch it the rest. And if you've stopped, you probably stopped like in 1 minute, in minute 1. So what do I want to say about these? The hobby YouTube, space, right? It is a small niche, really, in the grand scheme of things. Again, the apex content creator for not just YouTube, but in social media, Instagram, and all that is Jeff Wilson, Sports Gun Investor. 389,000 as of early July 2025. We have here like real, like again, nothing against, like I'm not saying none of these people are real, but like this is real. These are real numbers and real engagement. Again, some of them are the biggest YouTubers. That said, I don't watch Logan Paul, Jake Paul, whatever Paul. The biggest number on this list here is Penguin, who's also Moist Critical. I can't stop watching his dry sense of humor, his delivery, his low effort, low energy, but also high energy. I don't know, but 17 million, right? I mean, we're talking like real numbers. That's impressive. But I like watching Penguin, Z0, Moist Critical. I don't watch his gaming stuff. I don't watch him stream and playing Fortnite or whatever. But when he's talking about something stupid and silly that happened on the internet and he wants to talk about it, it's a nice little thing to just put on the background and enjoy. So I will just say that about Penguin, Moist Critical. Key and Peele. Again, escapism, get away. Key and Peele skits. I can't stop watching them. They're just too funny. I love Key and Peele. All the skits they do, just and the best thing is when I find something that I have not seen before, it is like a special little nugget, a little treat, something to savor, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I've seen all of them, but no, here's a random one that I've never seen before, and those are some pretty special days. Someone who is in the TCG Pokemon side, who does not venture into the, I've talked about, I've done the whole folks and all that and tried to kind of go off of his whiteboard and all this stuff. But Alpha and SCV, he does whiteboard stuff too, but these people didn't patent, this type of content delivery. But Alpha Investment, he's at 393,000 and he just has great camera presence. I love that he just lets the video run, and this is what I might do for this video. Might just let it run and make no edits whatsoever. But he's just a really good orator and speaker, and he is just someone who is able to really talk about the market at a high level. And I'm like very kind of like not envious, but I admired it a lot. I think there's a lot to learn from him. CoffeeZilla. Again, I talked about Dan the Cardman. Dan the Cardman is kind of like the CoffeeZilla of the hobby, where he calls out the scammers and the shady stuff. And CoffeeZilla, I think he has also Voidzilla, again, like the secondary channels. But CoffeeZilla is at like 4 million, and he'll talk about the rug pulls, the meme coins, the crypto, other stuff. But very well edited and very well produced, just kind of like great storytelling. And again, all of these people, really great storytellers. Let's see who's next here. Little guilty pleasure, like my wrestling stuff, Maven. He's at 688,000. He does have he's not a one-man show. He has like a cameraman, or he has someone who edits his stuff, but he's a former wrestler. He does a lot of behind the scenes, or behind the curtain, behind the fourth wall, breaking down the fourth wall, talking about you know, the industry of wrestling. And I love his insights. I love when he talks about how much money he made, or like the moves, the finishing moves, and the secrets, the tips, the tricks of the trade. I love watching his stuff. And so, you know, he does, like, none of these people know me. Like, some of these people know me. Like, these people, like, they are like the, you know, they're like real, like, huge, big hobby YouTuber, not hobby. They're really big, huge YouTubers. And finally, like, last but not least, but I just put in here, I almost forgot why did I put MR? I was like, what did I mean by that? And now I remember. So 4 million, it is Mel Robbins, just kind of like talking about emotional intelligence, empathy, you know, like life coaching, like just kind of like, you know, here's what, I don't know, like, there's definitely some people who are gonna be like, oh my gosh, like, you know, I can't believe you watch that stuff, or that's so effeminate, or that's so, like, you know, like, and I don't want to say the detractors are gonna be like toxic, or in like toxic masculinity, but there are gonna be some people who are gonna be like, oh my gosh, like, that's just like hooey and nonsense. I would say if you haven't given it a try, give it a try. It may not be your cup of tea, but I know it is my cup of tea. And so there's so much content here, and yet I try to squeeze it in when I can. Have I been obsessive and watching it a lot? It's possible. I'm more of a phone watcher. I don't watch it on television. I don't watch it on an iPad or a computer. I'm most of the time just putting it in the background, or I'll watch it. And, you know, some people you're able to put on the background because there's not a lot of visual stuff happening, and then some people you really do have to watch it. It's almost like watching like television, where, you know, there's gonna be some sort of visual cue. So I continue again to learn from all these folks, and I just want to say thank you. If you are one of these people and you're watching this video, thank you so much for doing what you do. And I just hope that, you know, hobby YouTube continues to grow, and that we, you know, again, rising tide lifts all boats. And I aspire to be, you know, like, making great content like all of you, but it's gonna take me some years. I think it's not gonna be days, weeks, months. It's gonna take years. It's a matter of, am I committed enough to try to do that? There are some days where I don't know, I do feel defeated, or I do feel like, man, like, this is such a long slog. This is harder than Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff. But there is beauty in the struggle. There is something wonderful about grinding it out and just kind of like doing it almost for passion and for the love of it. And so I do love making this. Thank you so much for watching. Please give me a sub if you can, so I can kind of like make more of this and feel motivated. But if you don't sub to me, sub to one of these folks. Thank you guys so much for watching.